So I don't think it'll surprise anyone that the first two on my list come from the same writer, and I think you know which writer that is.
Mr. Abbott.
No.
Oh,
So I think you
surprise.
don't know, but it's the other one that I talk about, which is who I got to meet a few years ago, Jimmy McGovern.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to say McGovern, sorry.
It was on in 1997. It's the first drama I remember watching. It was 2 years before we moved to the US, so that had no bearing on it at all. It's called The Lakes, and it starred John Sim in one of the first roles I'd ever. I think it was the first thing I'd ever seen him in, and for a long time, until Life on Mars, I thought he was Liverpudlian because he just does such a great Liverpudlian accent in this.
These aren't ordinary dramas. These are desert island dramas.
Where are you going? The lakes.
Yeah.
I'm Danny. It's an old English custom. Someone tells you his name, you usually tell him yours. I've got this gift, actually. A girl tells me her name and I come up with a poem about it, like that. Seconds.
Emma.
Some names take longer than others. There's a beautiful woman called Emma who sends Danny's heart into a tremor. But he's on a bus, so he can't make a fuss. Oh dear, what a fucking dilemma.
And he plays a young lad who runs away from home, ends up in the Lake District. Much like Jimmy McGovern's stuff, he's a hard drinker, he's a gambler, and he meets up with this young girl. They fall in love, they have a baby, they get married really quickly, and he ingratiates himself slowly into the family, even though he's an outsider, they don't like him. He gets a job working, within the lakes themselves, and he goes off to place a bet on a horse race. 3 young girls of 8, 9 and 10 get in a boat as a joke and end up dying and drowning, and he is made sort of the pariah of the community, but there are other people around. It's about loss.
Come on, she was in this morning. Where is she now?
She went out at break, sir.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you all?
Not to go out, sir.
Exactly. Well, she's in trouble, okay? Susan Charles is in serious trouble. Where's Lisa Graham? Is she with Susan? Pauline, is Lisa with Susan?
Yes, sir.
And Paula? And Annie Quinlan?
Yes, sir.
Well, they're in trouble. Every one of them. Serious trouble.
Oldswater Hotel, good afternoon.
John Parr here. Can I speak with Mrs. Quinlan and Mrs. Thwaite, please? It's about the children.
Oh my God. There's more out there.
Have you phoned the doctor? Have you phoned the doctor?
Ambulance.
The doctor will be quicker, phone her. Now!
What number?
5683.
What?
5683!
She's dead.
And even now, when I see people like Kevin Doyle and Robert Pugh and Elizabeth Barrington and John Sim, we always say, oh, that's him from the Lakes, and that's going back to 1997. So it's had a great impact on me, and it was only 4 episodes, 90 minutes each, mind you, the first series. I think even now, if it was on now, it's the sort of thing that certainly Matt and I would be saying is well worth a watch. I hope it would be up there with the best shows we talk about even now, and it had a great 90s soundtrack. A lot of Cast on there, I remember. Some early Manic Street Preachers, all that sort of thing.
there, gosh.
Yes, it was. That's exactly
Yeah, I
the
know,
one.
I remember, yeah.
I think it defined my vision of what a good drama is, because I remember watching it. I wasn't really young, but I was about 14, and I remember I'd never seen sort of grief on the television before, and of course it had the parents of these young girls who drowned, and their grief, and because it was Jimmy McGovern, it wasn't shy of having that grief element in it and playing off it a bit. And then Kevin Doyle, who played their teacher, was off, about to kill his wife because he found out she was having an affair with the local chef. So he wasn't there when the girls were missing. So it was about a community. It was about how that community is affected by a disaster, and it's something that if I read about now, I would still want to watch. And I don't know why it's always stuck with me, but it's definitely the first drama I ever saw. And did you ever see it, Matt?
No, I remember it being
You've
on,
never
I think.
seen it?
As I
Yeah,
said,
and
though,
then-
I was more sort of into comedies
Yeah,
first rather than
yeah.
dramas, so...
And then there was a second series in '99 where they changed. It was the same people, but they changed the format, so it had gone from 90-minute to like a half an hour soap opera type thing, focusing on
okay.
the area. And that was written by not Jimmy McGovern. It was written by William McNamara or somebody like that, who starred in Silent Witness until quite recently. And it was okay, but it wasn't, the Lakes as we knew it.
So it's mainly series 1, this one.
Yeah,
here.
it is really. I think we could all watch that now and enjoy it. I don't know whether Gary would, but I think because it's Jimmy McGovern.
Did you watch
and he
it, Gary,
knows
at the
stuff.
time? Do you remember it at
I
all?
remember watching the odd episode. I don't remember watching all of it, but I do remember it
Yeah.
because I remember I remember the cast tunes, and I remember
Yeah.
watching John Sim at the time. I do remember
Yeah.
it, but I don't.
He was
I don't
very
have
young.
the same.
He was in
Very
a CITV series, I sort of remember.
This was the show that made him a British TV star, wasn't it? And he went on.
Oh, he was in something called Oasis, which was about a group of children who run an inner-city farm.
I
Sort of
didn't
remember
know
that.
that.
Made
now
the team behind Biker Grove.
Little by
even-
little, I remember it.
Also starring Dean Gaffney.
Oh, it should have been a hit.
Yeah.
But even now, when I see him, or when I see he's in something, I will gravitate toward. I mean, the last thing he was in that I really thought this is Johnson brilliantly was Exile. I think Exile was a
Yeah.
brilliant piece of television.